Welcome to Science is Curiosity. With just one simple click, kindly subscribe to our channel for more updates. Curious minds, we are proud to bring to you the full mission of NASA's Artemis 1 moon going, what it carries, and the exact place it will land on the moon. From the launch timeline to the Artemis 1 mission objectives, here is everything you need to know about NASA's upcoming historic launch of the SLS and Orion to the moon. NASA is in the final stretch before it launches the first rocket in 50 years designed to carry humans back to the moon. Liftoff scheduled has been cancelled twice from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Artemis 1 mission is the first test flight of NASA's Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft. Artemis refers to the name of NASA's campaign to return humans to the moon's surface by 2025 as a jumping-off point to Mars. The 4 astronauts who will launch on that mission, known as Artemis 3, will be the first moonwalkers since Apollo 17 in 1972. There are many goals of this test flight, including testing Orion's communication, navigation and guidance systems, ensuring the overall launch and performance of SLS, and ensuring Orion's heat shield can withstand Earth re-entry at 25,000 miles per hour. The test flight will last 42 days and send Orion on an extended moon orbit, culminating in a Pacific Ocean splashdown. Artemis 1 will not have a crew. The teams conducting inspections of Moonican Campos will be inside the Space Station Processing Facility at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This is NASA's first new rocket and spacecraft since the Space Shuttle program. Unlike the Space Shuttle, which required multiple people to pilot, Orion is autonomous with the option for manual control. This is why NASA can launch SLS and Orion without astronauts on board for its first flight. 3 mannequins named Campos, Helga and Zohar will be along for the journey, outfitted with sensors to help determine what human astronauts will experience when they launch and land in Orion. Helga and Zohar will be seated in the 2 lower seats on Orion, and Zohar will be wearing a vest designed to reduce exposure to radiation. Another experiment using the mannequins will measure the amount of radiation astronauts may experience inside Orion. Artemis 1 mission is to complete a lunar orbit, traveling a distance of about 280,000 miles from Earth around the moon. After launching from Kennedy Space Center, the SLS will send the Orion spacecraft on a trajectory to orbit the moon. Once they launch that vehicle and unleash the 8.8 million pounds of thrust, we'll start our journey, explained Judd Freeling, Artemis 1 Ascent and Entry Flight Director. After the SLS clears the KSC launch tower, the rocket will roll in a direction to bring Orion to a heads-down position, according to Freeling. The vehicle will experience maximum dynamic pressure 1 minute into the flight, the point when the most physical strain is on the rocket. Another correction burn will get Orion about 60 miles from the lunar surface, sending it on a flyby of the moon. An expected communication blackout on the other side of the moon will be a nail-biting moment for everyone involved. Orion will be on the other side of the moon, and we won't have communications with it, Labroad said. So we'll be praying and hold our breath. When the spacecraft loops back around to orbit the moon, it will have traveled about 40,000 miles beyond the far side of the moon, which is farther than any human-rated spacecraft has journeyed before. This is known as the distance retrograde orbit. Orion will spend about 2 weeks in orbit before beginning the journey back to Earth. Orion will have to complete a series of engine burns on the way back to Earth. About a week before it enters Earth's atmosphere, the spacecraft will complete the most crucial maneuver of the journey home, the return power flyby burn. That is our most critical burn of the mission. If something happens that one and we don't execute it, then it's a loss of the Orion capsule, Labroad further explained. We have to do that one, but we plan accordingly. There are 2 expected communication blackouts during re-entry due to plasma heating the spacecraft. At about 24,000 feet, 3 small rogue parachutes will deploy from Orion, followed by the main parachute at 6,800 feet. In total, 11 parachutes will be deployed, slowing Orion from 350 miles per hour to about 20 miles per hour for a perfect landing. At 1,500 feet, Orion will roll to hit the waves at the proper angle. Orion is set to splash down off the coast of San Diego, where U.S. Navy recovery teams will. While Artemis 1 will not have any humans aboard, The Artemis 2 mission is expected to launch a crew of 4 astronauts from Kennedy Space Center. The Artemis 1 mission will be the first crewed test flight to the moon since Apollo. The astronauts will journey in a hybrid free return trajectory and spend their time verifying spacecraft system performance in the space environment. Artemis 2 astronauts on their first flight aboard NASA's Orion spacecraft will travel farther into the solar system than humanity has ever traveled before. Kindly subscribe for more updates.